Hey, it's Tawny from EndeavorCreative.com. I just want to walk you through installing your templates quickly and easily, and a couple of workflow tips for managing all those templates inside your Canva account. I'm also going to go over a few pointers for formatting the pin designs as well. So the first thing I recommend you do is open up your Canva account, make sure you're logged in, and you're in a browser then. So open up a new tab and open that read first instruction PDF right in the browser. Now you have links to all of the templates, and what I recommend you do is to right click on them and open in a new tab and just go down one by one. Now if you don't do that, it's going to reload the page and you're going to have to go find the PDF again, so this just makes it really quick. Go ahead and click these blue buttons that say use template on each one of them. And now you have a copy of the template set in your account and you're ready to get started. You don't need to worry about my templates. It's not going to affect my master templates in my account. This is your copy. But the first thing that I do recommend you do is make master copies of each one of them, so you have the originals to go back to in case you need to. So the first step that I would do on all of these is just title them master. As soon as you update that template, if you come back to the Canva homepage, you're going to see that in this slot right here, master, okay? Then once you make a master, go ahead and go to File and make a copy. Then click out of the master. You don't want to touch that ever again. Just leave that as it is. And we're going to start working on some pins. Now, you have a lot of templates now. There's a few files for you to manage, so we're going to walk through how you might do that really quickly and easily, because that's what this is all about. So there's a couple of approaches. One, you could just keep a working document of each template set and create your pins. Just keep 5 documents. We've got the simple text, promo, the list pins, the tutorial pins, and the long pins. So you can have 5 documents, and all the pins that you create within those documents, you can keep them just within those 5. So for example, we would call this working, and you would just have 5 working documents. In that scenario, then, you would find the pin that you want to customize and get started with it, and you will make a copy of the pin that you want to customize. And you just click on this little copy page button, and that way you have the original and you can make adjustments to the copy. And so whenever you're selecting an element in Canva, the menu for what you can do with it comes up here. So we're just going to change the background color here, and here we might change the font. And now you have your new pin. So to download just a single pin from a document that has multiple pages, you'll come up here to this little download tool, and here you can see we're on page 5, and we're going to click that, just that, done, and then you can download that one pin. Now, if you have hundreds of blog posts and you're making hundreds of pins, that might not be the best way to go about it, because you're going to be, doing a lot of this. You're going to be looking for things, and it's going to get to be pretty big. So you may want to work on just one pin at a time. And before I show you that, I do want to show you the template map. So if I open this up, it comes in a little folder. You're going to understand the method to my madness. Once you become familiar with the templates, you'll see why I did everything the way I did. Because it's gonna, you have a lot of different options right now, and so it's to be fast and efficient. You don't want to be looking for things. You just want to know right where it is. So this is just a little map so that you can see. Like, say for example, you have 1 minute. You just need to do a quick and dirty, simple text pin for a blog post. You might come up to these simple pins and just take a look at them. Figure out which one you need. Say, okay, this looks like it's going to be perfect. Just want, to have a little photo and a title. So that's somewhere in the middle of the simple text pins. So we're going to go back to the simple text working document. And let's somewhere down here in the middle, there it is. Now you can find it really quick and easy. So say you just want to work on one pin at a time. Now, how I would go about this is I would change the title to the name of the pin. So let's just use this top one because it's going to be easiest. I would say the easy workflow hack. And I have to say, I just made up all these corny titles. You'll have to forgive me for that. But some of them I'm really interested in wanting to know the answer. Like, I really want somebody to write this blog post so I know how to save 10 hours a week. Anyway, so once you have your document titled with the title of the pin, then what you'll need to do is click this delete page and boop, 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 and you're going to delete all of them. And it's okay. Don't worry, because you made a master. And if you ever really mess up and you do this to your master and you lose all your templates, you still don't need to worry. Just hang on to this PDF and you can always install a fresh set. Now you're working on one pin, and what you might do just as a matter of workflow is copy it, make your changes. So we're going to go ahead and change the background as we like it. And I have to apologize for making a mess with designs as I'm demonstrating things. I always do that and it looks just terrible, but I'm really just showing you the tools, so you'll have to forgive me there. Okay, so you've made your pin the way you want it, you're ready to go, then just delete the original. And now this is saved in your Canva homepage. So let's come back here and see it. The easy workflow hack. Okay, so now let's talk about folders, because if you're not a folder user, I highly recommend you create folders for your templates and organize them in a way that makes it really easy for you to access what you need quickly. The quick access menu here will show you the most recent thing you've worked on, and you can't, drag and drop things where you want them to be. So quick access isn't the menu of things that you want to see. It's just whatever you worked on last. So what you want to do is create folders. Now I created one for the master templates here, and I really, really wanted to share the folder with you, but it wouldn't let me. There was no way for me to just share this with you. So you'll have to create your own. So just come over here, it goes really quick. Create a new folder and just say my pins, or whatever you want to call it. Then what you have to do is come up to your home page, and let's just say, this is a pin, so we're going to say on this little menu button here, move to folder, my pins, move here. Now you may create another folder called masters. And however you want to set this up, move to folder, masters. That way the masters stay separate from the pins that you're working on or your working files. And if you need to just come in here, grab a copy of this, it's right there. It's there and handy. So how you set this up is up to you. You might create 5 different folders. You might have a simple pin folder, a long pin folder, etc., etc. The idea is that you want to organize this from the start so that you feel like you can just come in here and crank out a couple of pins and it's only going to take you a few minutes. So, okay, moving on. That's the basic, just workflow, of Canva, of how to, keep these templates organized. So use your template map, use folders. And by the way, when you're in these documents, you can go ahead and save or move to folders as well. So here we may move this to the My Pins folder. And it's as easy as that. I find this to be a little bit more unwieldy than regular computer file folders, but we work with what we have. And I think that it's, if you just set this up in a way that makes sense to you from the get-go, it's going to help to make this really speedy for you. Now I want to show you some formatting tips just so that you don't get frustrated with some of the more persnickety things about these templates. Again, it's not a complete Canva design training, tutorial, but there are a couple of things about these templates I want to point out to you to help make it easy once you get to those points. So on this simple pin template pack, for example, this is a pin that I want to kind of walk you through. I love this style of pin, having the rectangle background behind the text, because it allows you to have contrast and make the title really readable and still have things peeking through from the background. So it's really visually interesting and impactful, but you don't sacrifice the readability. So here, this is just a simple one with design elements. So if you have a blog post that doesn't need a photo, these are the type of things that are really quick to crank out, and they're visually eye-catching as well. So when we get to a pin like this, again, if you have a really, a visually complex or colorful image that you want, for people to see and recognize, but you want to put a title on it too, and you don't want to, put a box of color, on top of the photo to cover it up. This style is really great because you can still see what the image is behind the photo. And you can even bump these little rectangles. You can even come up here to the opacity tool and you can make them a little bit more see-through. You want to be careful there. Make sure there's lots and lots of contrast. You never want to sacrifice, design pizzazz for readability, because the name of the game on Pinterest really is readability. So the thing about these types of templates, though, is that they can be a little bit hard to deal with, because once you make a change here, so let me do that. In fact, so now we're going to France, but those little boxes don't line up anymore. So if I just try to click on those boxes to adjust them, it's not easy because the text layer is right on top, and you can see the little bounding box is covering them, so it's not so easy to select. What I have found is really the trick to these types of pins is to select the text, go to position, and then go backward until you don't see it anymore. Then take the sliders down on these little boxes. And this is one of the things about Canva that's persnickety, is you can't just select all the boxes and adjust the opacity for some reason, or I haven't figured out a way to. So one by one you'll have to do that, but then it makes it super easy to put these boxes where you want. And then you just move the text to front. Otherwise, I think what people do is they, try to guess, like, well, maybe it should be here, and then they have to move it back. But we don't want you doing that. We want you to do this as quickly as possible. Now, speaking of quickly as possible, there's one other persnickety little tutorial pin that I want to show you, because I know you're probably going to want to change fonts and colors and things like that. But once you get into these really heavy content pins like this, there's a lot of text, there's a lot of, color elements and all of that. So you could be here for days. But here's a tip for you. So if you're say you're changing fonts, you're changing colors here. So you select the element. Let's change it. Let's change it to something that we can really see. So there we go. Now keep that selected and come up here and click on copy style. Then when you hover over other elements, you can just release and drop that style right onto the element that you're hovering over. So you can't do it multiple times. You have to keep coming back up to the tool. So you go like this, and then back, and like this, and then back, and like this, and then back. You get the point, okay? You can do it for fonts too, and that's going to be helpful if you are changing your font. So let's just go ahead and we'll do this. So actually we'll do these headlines. So I've changed this font. I'm going to select it, copy style, hover, and drop it. Right, so you select the thing that you want to copy it, hover, and boop. That's the technical term. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, so that I wanted to show you because I think I just worry that you might get in here and go, oh my gosh. But that makes it easy. So those two tips, those are the two pins that I thought were going to be like, I hope you don't get stuck there. So I wanted to demonstrate those two things, but I also want to walk you through just a couple of, formatting tips in general. So this particular pin, for example, is using a photo frame. And if you don't already know, if you want to swap out the photos, you can search for them. You can search by free, pro, premium. So if you're on Canva Pro, you may want to just filter out all the ones that are going to, cost money and all the free ones. Um, and then you just drag and drop into place. Now that may not really be the composition that you were aiming for. So what would you do? So you might move this around or scale it, right? But you're not really changing the photo. So what you do is you double click it and then you can edit the photo behind. So that way you can kind of play around with these photo frames and keep the design intact if you want to. If you want to move this and you want to make it bigger, you want to rotate it, there's a little rotate handle. The way that I have bled these types of elements off the page, the reason why I do that is because if we don't, then we are working with kind of a stock Canva element that everybody else has access to. But if we get creative and we do creative things with what we're working with, then we can make our pins look more custom to us and more unique, even if we're using stock photos. There's one weird little one. Okay, so this one, for example, if I just slid this element over, then it would, it wouldn't have anything different than what anybody else who has access to that element has. So I've tilted it a little bit, but what happens is that if we change the color, then you're going to see there's something really wonky going on here. And I want you to know that I haven't done that. I've tried to really avoid doing a lot of that because Canva doesn't allow you to kind of draw specific shapes. You have to build them. But I want you to know that this type of thing isn't a mistake. I'm trying to give it a little bit of, uniqueness to make these templates a little bit more custom looking. So you would just select that and also change the color. So again, behind the scenes here, we've got these photos. Let me see. Let me show you this. Okay, here's a good example. So here we have an example of a stock photo that just comes with Canva. Again, anybody can use it. But if you double click on it and you do, like, maybe you change the scale, like get creative, and you can tilt it, scale it. Don't be afraid to take it off the page and do something wacky with it. That's really gonna, help you to create something visually interesting and different from what other people are doing. And then if you are not aware, there are filters here that you can apply as well. So you might develop like a specific filter style. Like if you're doing something retro, maybe you want to do all your photos in like a retro style and like develop your own, visual vibe. You can do that. So there are things that you can do inside of Canva to kind of give it a uniqueness and to help those photos out a little bit. We want to, wherever we can, we want to try to put our own little spin on them in some way. You can flip them, you can adjust, and sometimes if the photo quality isn't great, you may need to do that. You may need to adjust the brightness and the contrast. And there are even special effects that you can apply, like duotones, so you can have a lot of fun with it. So please have fun. Let's see, what else did I want to show you? Well, I think that might be the gist of it. Oh, you know what I want to show you is the lead magnet template. So if you've never done this before, I want to show you how to do this. So I've given you a little lead magnet template to start from, and I gave you two different options for the color for the cover. Now, when you want to put this on a promo pin, let's pull up the promo pins. Here they are. File, make a copy. Now, what I want to do is show you how to update your mockups here. So where was I? Lead magnet. Welcome to me. I end up with 100 million tabs open. I don't know what I'm doing. So you come in here and you design this lead magnet the way you need it to be. I would definitely make a copy of this because there's some workbook pages. You can, if you have 20 workbook items, you can make multiple copies, make it what you need it to be. There's some checklist stuff, here. If you just have a simple checklist, you can make copies of this and start modifying it. When you're done and you're done with your cover design, go ahead and download as a PNG file. So it's going to default to PDF, but you want to make sure you're on the PNG, and then just download the cover. So let's go ahead and go like this. And I downloaded a PDF. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay. So now let's go back to the promo pin, and we're going to go to uploads, and we're going to upload that cover that we just downloaded. And here it is right here. So all you have to do, and you'll do that with your internal pages as well. You can see I've already done that here for the mockups. And if you already have a freebie or you have a different cover, you have something else, that's fine. I just wanted to get you something to get you started. So once you have the PNG file here, you just move it, you just slide it over in. These are just little photo frames, and you just slide it over. And I've made just a little shadow here. So if you want to move it, you have to select all 4 elements. So there's a shadow and the photo frame, and shadow. And the way you select multiple items in Canva is you hold the Shift key and select. So I'm going to show you that. So Shift and then click, click, click. Then you can scale it. You can move it. You can do what you want to it from there. Oops, look at what I did. I am not editing a copy. I am editing my original template. So don't do that. I did that on purpose to warn you not to do that. So let me go ahead and make a copy before I make a mess. The other style of promo pin that I have created for you is this. So say you have a webinar or a course or something like that. It is so impactful for people to see a visual. It's just that nanosecond that people, kind of catches their eye and they're like, ooh, what's that? And so you want to show it rather than say it wherever you can. So how you update this, these are just Canva photos. You want to update that with a screen capture. And if you don't have a way to capture screen captures right now, I want to show you how I do it that's really quick and easy. So I'm going to actually just go to my website because I think that's the easiest way to do it. And we're going to pretend that this is the home page for a course, or it's some kind of tutorial screen capture that I want to create here. I have on the Chrome browser, if you install full page screen capture, the little browser extension, all you have to do is click that button. Again, full page screen capture. I use this all the time. Once that happens, once that's downloaded, just download it as a PNG. And you're probably going to guess what comes next. We do the same thing. So let's go back to, this is so embarrassing. This is my life all day long. I'm like, where was I? File, and nope. Uploads, upload an image. We'll go to the downloads folder, get the screen capture. Now this slides over into place here. Boop, boop, boop. And it looks terrible, right? But you already know what to do. Double click it, and then you can drag it down. How cool is that? So now you have a mock-up of a website or a webinar or a course or whatever you want. And these are really great to do on Pinterest because I think it's really eye-catching, and you want to be promoting whatever it is that you're selling. If you are building your email list, you want to kind of demonstrate that you have a freebie that they can go download. And whenever you're using arrows, those are really powerful too, because any kind of directional cue really draws people's eyes, because like if somebody is in a photo pointing to something, or there's an arrow pointing to something, we just kind of naturally, we can't help it. It's instinctive to just look. So that's why there's arrows on a lot of these things, just because I want to make sure that you're taking every opportunity to get people's attention. Okay, so I think that's it. I think that should get you started. I hope that was helpful. I hope that this helps you to work fast and easy. And I hope you get lots and lots of engagement on Pinterest with these pins and have a lot of fun with it. And if you have questions, just go to the README document. My email is right here. If you have questions, be sure to reach out and let me know. And I will talk to you soon. Ciao.